Alright, hey everybody, welcome to another episode of TEW Local to Global 1987. We're back with some GCW, and it's been a while, but we're here, and let's get straight into today's episode. So, if you don't remember what happened last episode, I don't blame you. The main event of Championship Wrestling was Steve Austin defending the World Championship against Brian Pillman, and Austin managed to retain the title after Dustin Rhodes screwed Pillman over. So tonight we're going to see what that has to do with Dustin Rhodes, what that has to do with Brian Pillman, what's going on in the title picture. So let's go figure that out right now. And it won't take long because Dustin Rhodes comes out with Jesse Ventura, and he announces that he has joined the Syndicate. Now, his reasons are, yes, he was fired by the Syndicate, but at the end of the day, he has to provide for his family, he has to provide for his kids, and for his wife. So, you know, he has to have a job, and he has to sell his soul, basically, in order to provide for his family. But he's done it, and he doesn't regret it. He would do it again if the choice presented himself. And Brian Pillman comes out, and he calls Dustin a coward who retreats when times get tough. And, yeah, Pillman challenges Dustin Rhodes to a match at Revolution. And it's not going to be just any type of match. It's going to be an Iron Man match to really show who is the best out of both these two. So get to 100. Steve Austin has the night off, by the way, so you won't see him tonight. Next up, we've got tag team action. Show Rock defeat the Headbangers when Big Show defeated Mosh in 3:49. Big theme tonight, not a lot of long matches. A lot of storyline progression, so tonight's not really a match night, but you know what? It's going to be fine. Johnny Valiant. Valiant was supposed to face off against Al Snow at Championship Wrestling, but he comes out tonight and he says, I was sick. Sorry, guys, I was totally sick. I couldn't participate in the match. And, yeah, so I guess Al Snow doesn't get reinstated. So that sucks, and Al Snow jumps the barricade and attacks Johnny Valiant. So this storyline is going to get pushed up until Revolution. So Al Snow still not reinstated as a part of GCW. Now, the actual reason why I didn't have the match at Championship Wrestling is actually because I forgot to book it. Yep, that's too bad, but oh well. Alright, let's get into our next segment. Alright, our next segment is a match between Satoshi Kojima and Jerry Flynn for the GCW Japan Heavyweight Championship, and Satoshi Kojima wins the match in 5 minutes with an Emerald Flosion. Kojima with a 72 and Jerry Flynn with a 37. This gets his 60. We've got a DDP versus D'Lo Brown versus Chris Candido promo, and it's agreed that DDP will face off against D'Lo Brown for the television championship next week in a cage match since Candido interfered in their match at Championship Wrestling last night. So it gets a 62. Next up, we've got Kevin Nash versus Marty Jannetty, and Kevin Nash wins with a jackknife powerbomb. Chavo is in the ring after winning the Cruiserweight Championship last night, and he says the Cruiserweight title is important to him, but not as important as his uncle, so he offers up the Cruiserweight Championship to Eddie, and Eddie comes out, looks like he's going to accept it, but punches him in the face, and we have the heel turn for Eddie Guerrero. So, their storyline is developing. Originally it was Chavo being the heel, and now Eddie is the heel, so that's nice. Kidman versus Johnny Swinger is up next, and Kidman gets the victory in 3 minutes, 57. And afterwards, Billy Kidman says he is done with the flock. As we saw last night, he turned on the flock for good, and Perry Saturn comes out, and they agree to a match next week. Jerry Flynn versus Rey Mysterio is up next. Rey Mysterio gets the victory in 8 minutes. Alright. We are backstage with Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Jesse James, and former Rockabilly, now Billy Gunn. And they agree to form a tag team. Not a tag team, but a team. A 3-person unit to take down Mortis and Wrath. So, I wonder what their name's gonna be. Probably something stupid. So it gets a 60. Storm versus Jericho is up next. These two are former tag team champions, but tonight they're facing off, and Jericho gets the victory in 10 minutes. Using the ropes for leverage, gets a 76. we're in the ring with Rocky Maivia. He explains why he turned on his father at Championship Wrestling on Rocky Johnson, and he says that Johnson was holding him back. It's his time now, and him and Farouk are going to take over Global Championship Wrestling because they're coming for Harlem Heat and the World Tag Team Championships. Gets a 76. And then we've got our main event. The Intercontinental Championship is up for grabs, and Mankind defends the title against Fit Finlay in 1353 with a double arm DDT. Gets a 79 as we end the show with an 83. So not bad as we start the road to Revolution. Alright. Gets a 2.74. And Ken Shamrock is leaving in 15 days for an MMA fight. It's gonna suck, but whatever. Alright, let's get to next week's Fuel right now. Alright, final show of today's episode. And this is gonna be a good one. So starting us off, we've got Steve Austin in the ring, and he's cutting a promo on Sting. And around halfway through his promo, the lights go out, and Sting appears in the ring, and Steve Austin bolts out of the ring. And these two are facing off at Revolution in the main event for the GCW World Championship. I actually don't know if that's going to be the main event yet, or if it's going to be Dustin versus Pillman. I haven't decided yet. Alright, let's go to our next segment. So next up, we've got a Battle Royal. The winner of this match facing Satoshi Kojima for the GCW Japan Heavyweight Championship at Revolution. And Jerry Lynn gets the victory, last eliminating Lance Storm. So it gets an 80. Valiant backstage, he refuses to reschedule his match with Al Snow. He really wants no part of Al Snow, so I don't know. Maybe Al Snow's just going to end up being fired. I mean, he's already fired, but just never going to come back. I don't know. Mike Awesome versus The Big Show is up next, and The Big Show defeats Mike Awesome in 11:24 with a chokeslam. Battle of the big men here. 82. Eddie Guerrero is in the ring. He wants Chavo at Revolution for the Cruiserweight Championship, of course, so we'll have to see where that goes. Steel cage match, D'Lo versus DDP for the Television Championship, and D'Lo Brown gets the victory. DDP had the match won at some point. He was about to step through the cage, but Chris Candido runs down and smacks DDP with the door, and that allows D'Lo to climb out of the cage and retain the title. So it gets an 80. We're backstage with Brian Pillman and Dustin Rhodes, and they're brawling. That's it. Just a brawl. Perry Saturn versus Billy Kidman. The long-awaited match ends in 4 minutes and 33 seconds. With a Death Valley driver, Perry Saturn absolutely destroys Billy Kidman, and there's a reason for this. So afterwards, the Flock come down and they beat down Kidman, and Mankind ends up making the save, helping Billy Kidman take out the Flock. And now we've got Rocky Maivia versus Stevie Ray, with Rocky Maivia getting the victory with a shoulder breaker after interference from Farouk, and I believe this is the main event. Which means we only have one segment left. Alright. This is going to be a good one. This is the Dark Ritual. Mortis, Wrath, and the Sinister Minister are in the ring with the lights dimmed. They have candles, they have robes on. It's very, very dark and mysterious. And they're performing a ritual. Right? And Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Jesse James, and Billy Gunn come down and they crash the ritual around halfway through. But all of a sudden the lights go out. And when they come back on, who is standing in the ring? It's The Undertaker. Holy shit, I gave him the country singer gimmick. I just realized I didn't change it. Well, that sucks. Well, I guess Undertaker's a country singer now. So he comes down and he beats down Billy Kidman, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, and Jesse James. I'm going to change that after, don't worry. And Undertaker is here. And the man I said I wouldn't bring back to GCW, I decided to bring back after all. The Undertaker as is with Mortis Wrath and the Sinister Minister. Gets a 2.63, and Rocky Johnson gets a final contract. So let's change that right now, because that was a... Oh, sorry. Excuse my language. Let's give him the Dead Man gimmick. That was my bad. Alright. Thank you guys for watching this episode of GCW. Make sure to like if you like this video, subscribe if you want more, and we'll see you guys in the next episode, which will be the final episode of 1995, also showing Revolution. Alright, see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.